All right, you want an easy way to reduce your appetite, improve your stable energy, and get your insulin levels to be more stable throughout the day? Check this out. If you just eat a breakfast that's high in protein with some fat and probably little to no carbohydrates, you'll probably eat less throughout the day, have less cravings, and have more stable energy. It's a simple hack, but start your day that way and then watch what happens. It actually makes a pretty big difference.
Eat your meat.
Yeah, I like stuff like this because it works with your behaviors rather than it forcing you to follow like some kind of plan. Like it's like, okay, you're gonna eat breakfast anyway.
You're gonna adhere to that a lot more effectively.
Eat like a 3 eggs scrambled with a little bit of meat with it and some vegetables, and boom, you're done. And then what happens is throughout the day, they find that when people start with a high protein and fat breakfast,
your blood sugar is nice and even
throughout the whole day. Yeah. Even if you eat sugar later on or carbohydrates later on, whatever, had you not had the high protein breakfast, you would notice these bigger fluctuations. And we know this now with CGM studies, right? So continual glucose monitors will measure your glucose in real time in response to the foods that you eat. And they found that simply starting your day with protein stabilizes it throughout the day. Now, what behaviors do erratic ups and downs in blood sugar tend to promote? Cravings, irritability, overeating. So if you just start your day that way, it's like one small thing you can do that can improve or at least push your behaviors in the direction of helping you eat healthier and be leaner.
So can I add to that hack?
Yeah.
I think that this starts in the evening with portioning off like the dinner meat that you normally have. Because typically people eat carb-heavy breakfast and don't cook a meat or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because that part is a little time consuming and most of us have a main course dinner that's centered around some sort of a meat, is I would just, we have these little tiny like Tupperware things, is I would Tupperware off like 4 ounces.
And that goes with your eggs.
Yeah. And then in the morning, all I have to do is crack 2 or 3 eggs, depending on how big of a breakfast you want, with that meat and just scramble it. And then we sprinkle an ounce of cheese over the top of it. And now you've got this killer scramble, and it was super fast and easy.
So I make breakfast most mornings for Jessica, and that's exactly what I do. So like the other night we had Butcher Box Tri-Tip. So Butcher Box company we work with, they deliver like grass-fed meats to your door, and we always get Tri-Tips. It's like my favorite cut from them because they're really versatile. I do the cast iron skillet on both sides, put it in the oven, really easy. If you season it well, it's really tasty. And so I'll have some left over, and I'll serve her every morning 2 scrambled eggs with cheese and probably 2 ounces or 3 ounces of Tri-Tip. And boom, that's your breakfast right there. And I like what you're saying, Adam, because you know what's interesting about breakfast foods? Before the introduction of cereals, okay, breakfast used to be a protein fat meal. Mm-hmm. That's what people used to eat.
Yeah.
And then the invention of cereals came along, which, by the way, some of the first cereals, people don't know this. People don't know this. One of the first cereals invented or marketed was Corn Flakes. Mm-hmm. Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Wasn't he trying to solve some kind of masturbation problem?
He advertised it prevented masturbation. So it's like, oh, eat this in the morning.
Was that the story? I knew it was like a weird story that went behind it. He was trying. Okay, explain how making a cereal prevents masturbation.
I don't think there's anything that I can explain. I think it was all he just said that.
Yeah, that's how he's.
I don't know if it happened to him. He's like, man, when I eat this, because then he feels tired. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Doug, you remember that story?
I'm looking it up here. I'm trying to fact check it.
We have on the show before.
It says mostly false, but again, as Snopes, so I don't know if I can.
No. Look up Corn Flakes prevents masturbation. Just do that, and then you'll read. But that's the story. But anyway, nonetheless, that's when breakfast cereals kind of hit the market, they're so convenient. They have a long shelf life. So instead of taking 20 minutes to cook, you just pour something in a bowl, add some milk to it, and now you have your quote unquote breakfast, and then it lasts a long time. A box of cereal doesn't go bad like other perishable foods. And so breakfast became, and this is the funny thing, by the way, it's funny to me how we have breakfast foods, lunch foods, and dinner foods.
Yeah.
And that's just that's a product of marketing. But breakfast foods do tend to be carb heavy.
Yeah, they all look like cake now. Yeah. pancakes, like
French
muffins.
toast.
They're little tiny cakes.
Waffles.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
Isn't it wild too how our cravings and everything have shifted from that too? Like if someone's like, oh, I want breakfast right now, if you're like, hey, I've got some chicken and broccoli and rice in the refrigerator, do you want me to?
Because you've
heat that up?
associated that with dinner.
Yeah, people what?
Ugh.
They would act like that's such a big deal not to do it. You know what broke that for me was competing. Because that was like what I was eating all day long. So many times breakfast was dinner. It didn't matter. It was just like I had to hit these macros, and it was what I had prepared.
Yeah.
And most of what I prepared were like.
Do you guys remember? I don't know if they do this anymore because I don't watch too many commercials because streaming doesn't do the same. But when we were kids, you watch TV and you had to watch the commercials. And anytime they had a breakfast cereal commercial, at the very end, they're always like part of a complete breakfast, and the picture would be box of cereal, bowl of cereal.
Fruit.
There'd be like 3 or 4
Orange
slices
juice.
of toast, a glass of orange juice, and an orange.
Yeah.
It was like 150 grams of
All
carbohydrates.
carbs. Dude, well, look at our food pyramid. Like they had this like insane, it was like 60-something% carb focus. And then between that and then how they attacked fat back when we grew up, like that's how our whole breakfast, I think, changed because of that on top of the cereal.
Eggs got demonized for a long time.
Yeah.
Eggs got
And
completely,
bacon.
and bacon got demonized for butter, got demonized for a long time. And they told you to eat margarine, which is, oh my God, that's so bad for you.
Yeah.
And eggs are literally nature's multivitamin. They're so nutrient dense, so healthy, especially for children, especially for kids. In fact, the eggs are packed full of brain healthy nutrients. Like if you want your kid to grow up and have a healthy brain, you give them eggs. But yeah, it's funny to me how I know how many tests I probably did poorly on because
I know.
I'm like, oh, I got a big test or whatever. I better eat, I better fuel myself. And it was like 5 pancakes, toast,
Dude,
juice.
every single sports event, game, whatever, like I would just load up on pancakes, carbs, it just would crash right before I'd get to playing. And it was just, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, what does that say?
Crazy.
Doug?
So yes, it seems like it was invented as a food for patients of a sanatorium in which he worked. So this is John Harvey Kellogg. And at its inception, the cereal was functional. It was supposed to be healthy and deliberately bland, and also designed to suppress sexual desire.
Okay, that's what it was, Adam. You asked how the hell is a cereal supposed to prevent?
Yeah.
Okay,
'Cause it's
so
so
the
bland.
thought was back then that anything stimulating would promote masturbation. So anything with flavor or music that was lively or spicy,
Bright
or
color, just
So they're like, we're gonna make the blandest, like taste like nothing food, and which is funny because then they turned it into like a breakfast food. They marketed everybody.
Yeah.
But they literally used to say, "This is so bland, you won't want to jerk off."
So this is
anymore."
what John Kellogg thought masturbation did. He said mood swings, bad posture, acne, baldness, stiff joints, palpitations, as
mean,
well
he's not
as
lying.
a taste for
He's not
spicy
lying.
food.
No, what kind of posture?
hairy hands, for days.
Dude, this
just,
reminds me of since we went this way.
Bro, how big of a problem was this in that where he was working? Oh my God.
I know.
So we need to solve
you
this.
guys-
I'm seeing this everywhere, you guys.